Hello, everyone. Sorry for the slight delay. I had a camera that decided to turn off and needed to have a full reboot to come back on. And as anyone who's made the stream will tell you, when you're 10 minutes before start time, you have all your tabs open, ready to go. And when you have to shut down, you have to make them all back up again, which is not fun. But we're here. We are back. Apologies for the break. But we are here, and things are definitely not messed up. Things are just as good as where we last left them. And there's absolutely nothing to worry about. I will start by introducing myself. My name is Hedge or Hedgehawk, if you want to be polite about it. I use he, him pronouns. And I have the honor, pleasure, and privilege to be storytelling for these amazing players. I am going to start with D, because D's not been here for a while. ...
Yeah, I have sort of been in a alternate place, but hello. Hi, I am D. My pronouns are they, them, and I am playing Zelda, who is our mad scientist knocker gal. I can generally, when I'm not here making terrible decisions for the entire group, I am instead found on all the places on the internet. Twitter, Blue Sky, I guess just Twitter, Blue Sky, and Twitch under Alphabet Sauce, or on YouTube as Plan the Stand.
Awesome. Maddie.
Yes, hello. I am Maddie. My pronouns are they, them. You can find me across the internet at Maddie is Abstract, and there's a link in my bio to all the various things that I do. But today I am playing Xena Crowther, she, they, our satyr fae friend. And yes, I'm assuming that there's going to be a lot of confusion, a lot of not really knowing what's going on, and just trying to make the best of things while still looking fabulous and wearing cool 70s clothes.
Yes. Right. There we go. The music's fixed itself. Right. I was there, like, trying to rapidly fix the music connection. I was just like, why is it not connecting? It's like, there we go. Right. So we have music. Corner should hopefully be with us shortly. They're having internet troubles at the moment. So hopefully that gets rebooted and they can come join us. Last session. Cast your minds back, rewind. We entered the dreaming. We found the dreaming version of the Acropolis. We found the fifth mirror. I had to count them. Yeah, it was the fifth one. Zelda tried to do some shenanigans with reality to try and pull the two vampire mirrors into the dreaming, but ended up getting yo-yoed back through. And hey, you got a lovely... Zelda got a lovely adventure out of it. Nearly died. Nearly. I'm surprised Zelda didn't get shot, actually.
I am shocked too. I was certain that was it for me, but I exist.
Hey, Zelda survived and has been getting up to some stuff. Leaving Xena and Askra in the Dream Acropolis. Right, I can see now. So amazing what happens when you clean your glasses and you don't just see murky stuff. Right, let me change. There we go. So, Zelda, take a back seat, stretch your arms, relax. Maddie / Xena. You have just watched a few moments ago Zelda effectively disappear in a small whirlpool on the table. In a desperate attempt to save the mirror, they're able to toss it up out of the whirlpool, and it lands just on the edge of the table. But they are gone. Where that whirlpool once was is a tiny dot, almost like a floating purple dot. That just appears to be floating there. Aside from that, nothing else has changed in this room.
I think there will be some fruitless yelling of like, Zelda, Zelda, where are you? Where did you go? And then after about, I don't know, 3 minutes of that, I will resolve to do something a bit more sensible. Is there any way I can do something like a grey mare roll to see if I can figure out what the heck is going on or something similar?
Yeah, we'll say intelligence plus Greymere. Difficulty
Sweet, okay.
6.
Nice.
Oh, 5 successes.
5 successes. Ooh. Was not expecting that.
You can't have a definitive. You can't make a definitive answer. But your guess is that your limited experience with both Zelda and Leto has taught you that these mirrors interact with each other when brought in close proximity to each other. You've seen what happens when like 2 of them get put together. You've never seen what happens when 3 of them get close to each other. And it doesn't take much of a Zelda to figure out that maybe these mirrors can permeate the rift between the autumn world and the dreaming. So even having them close to each other in 2 separate realities would still count as them being close to each other. Maybe their desire to be close to one another is enough to breach the dreaming. If that's the case, and that's just what 3 mirrors do when they're close to each other, introducing a 4th, a 5th, and a 6th could, well, on scales of economy, if 3 opens a rift that pulls you from one to the other, 6 could, I don't know, maybe pull the whole of London from one side to the other. Potentially. It's a theory. Rattling around in Xena's brain. But while you've been investigating, that little dot has started to get bigger. Not big in the sense of it's grown larger, but like hairline purple cracks have started coming out of this dot. And the more you look at it, the more you can see them expanding and almost opening up.
I think I'm trying to think whether Xena would be like, this seems bad, I'm going to run away, or this seems interesting, I'm going to look at it. I think in this case, self-preservation has gone out the window, and I think it's just kind of like, what is this? I'm just going to kind of peer at it from a distance, and if I can't sort of gather anything about it, I'm going to get closer.
I'm guessing you scoop the mirror up as well while you're there.
Yeah.
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 So you scoop the mirror up. Fantastic. Xena, you put the mirror in your pocket. You go to walk to this void. Then you realize something. As like Astra gets a bit closer with you. We've just had that whole theory of, well, if three mirrors get to each other, what happens when they're in close proximity? How many mirrors do you have in your pockets?
Oh, I think I have 2 now.
I thought you had both in your pocket because you
Oh, do
wouldn't
I
let
have
Zelda carry
3?
one. Yeah, because you had 2 in your pockets because you wouldn't allow Zelda to carry one.
Mhm.
Because the last time Zelda carried one, they handed it over to Leto on a silver platter.
Yes. Yes. Okay,
Completely
yeah,
of their
so
own free will.
Mhm.
So yeah, you've already got 2 and you've just slid a third one into your pocket. And
Mhm.
this little rift notices that. As you finish sliding into your pocket, that rift opens up into that same whirlpool that you saw grab Zelda. You and Askara are pulled straight through. You can try and grab onto something. There's not a lot to grab onto. The table would be your best bet. And to be honest, that'll just get lifted the second you try and use it to support yourself.
Yeah. I think Xena's logic is we need to find and rescue Zelda anyway. If we're going to the same place Zelda's going, that's probably better than being separated in the dreaming, even if it's wacky and dangerous.
I mean, it's sound logic. If Zelda got pulled through that portal, then logic dictates the portal's got to lead to the same place. You appear in a flash of light. Everything goes white for a second before like phasing back in for you. And you appear on the exact same table that you just climbed up on. This is the Acropolis main room, just like you were before. The big difference this time is that the first thing you sense is a crushing sense of banality. And I mean, it's fairly obvious that this is the autumn world version of the Acropolis. What's interesting on this side is that crack is still here. It's visible on this side as well. And you can see that there's like almost like barricades. Like furniture has been set up, kind of around the table, around this crack. And there's like a train car. There's a couple of train cars on a few of the separate tracks. And you're pretty sure you can hear rattling coming from one of them.
I'm gonna like make sure that Akshara is okay and that we'll have all our limbs intact. Then I'm going to see if I can figure out what is making the noise and if I can't go closer to it. Because of like Zelda might have like appeared in the train car and be trapped. Something like that.
Give me wits and wits investigation.
Okay.
Difficulty 7.
Sweet. 2.
2. It's not Zelda in the train car. You're pretty good now with kenning and, being able to sense your fellow changeling and fae. There is banality seeping from this train car. You sort of get to where the barricade's been built out of like camping chairs and tables. Because you've got to climb it to actually get to the other side of, and like as you start climbing it, you make a bit of noise, and that noise is heard. And 2 figures come out of the train car. One of them is kind of a very posh male, wearing like a red and gold corset, sort of blondish, squaggly hair, black framed glasses, and appears to be holding what looks to be like a shotgun. The other is like a exhausted male, kind of like almost has like, as we've been describing them, the Leto eyes, like under their left eyes, like sort of like baggy eyes. Looks tired and exhausted, and is like holding like a broom, but like trying to hold it like a staff. And you see the man with glasses sort of calls out, "You there? Well, what are you? What? How? If you've come from that rift, you can stay on that side of the barricade."
Technically yes, but I'm from here not here specific. I'm from the real world originally. I lost a friend through this rift and was hoping she'd be here.
What does your friend look like?
Tall, lots of gizmos and gadgets aplenty. Who's its and what's its galore.
You see the other man, like lower his broom a little bit. It's like, and how long ago was that?
Like 2 minutes.
Okay, well I can tell you it's not been 2 minutes here.
That seems like some fey bullshit. I believe that very, very readily.
Try 2 weeks.
Oh God. Okay. Jesus. Right. Well, thanks for the catch up. That's helpful to know. I'm very happy to get out of your hair. If we can, if Zelda's okay, that would be great to meet up with her and just sort of leave you to your business.
You see the one male with glasses lowers the shotgun, and like sort of beckons the other male to follow him. Yeah, about your friend. So they appeared. There was a bit of a kerfuffle. Hands round necks, different types of magic. It nearly kicked off into full-blown fights, but it didn't. They calmed down. Seemed to make friends, I guess. Came to a sort of an agreement about everything. I'm not quite sure of the agreement myself. Then there was a huge crash when a car smashed through the side wall. And they all drove off together. And that was 2 weeks ago, when we haven't heard from any of them since.
Wow. Okay. Well, I thought you were a gang, like a coterie. I think they call it. Why weren't you involved in this driving away?
Hmm, what's the word
If that's
Valerian likes to use? I'm the staff. And he points to the other male, like, and he's the luggage.
okay. Okay. Cool. Interesting. I mean, I guess we have a penguin backpack who fulfills a similar function. So I get it. I guess I can get behind that. As long as it's consensual. Um, okay. Do you have any suggestions for what would be helpful for us to do to make sure that everyone's okay? Or would it be better to just kind of go home and wait for this to blow over?
Well, I think they were heading back to your place. So if you want to try and pick the trail up there, maybe you can discover something.
Okay. Well, thank you. Um, am I getting the sense that this person is telling me the truth?
They generally don't seem to be lying. You then see that this male uh, looks at the other male, takes the broom out of his hands, puts the shotgun in his hand, puts the safety on the shotgun, and is like, right, take him, take Tristan, he'll be of some use. I am just going to stay here and continue my guard duty. And keep an eye on
Okay.
that thing. He says, he like points over to the rift.
Probably wise. Sorry, rude of me appearing in the middle of your home and not telling you my name. I'm Xena.
Marcus.
All right.
And
Nice
that's
classical name.
Tristan. He's special.
What does that mean in this context? I mean, compared to mortals, we're all pretty special, I guess.
Imagine if you were made a vampire, but you weren't turned, you were magicked. You sort of see Marcus does like a ta-da point towards Tristan. So see Tristan sort of goes, special's putting it lightly, but yes, special. I suppose special probably is the right word. Are you sure that I'm allowed the shotgun? Like am I? I mean, I've never fired one in my life. And you sort of see Marcus is just like, you just take the safety off like this. You point at the thing you don't like. You pull the trigger, and then you pump it, and you fire again. And if that doesn't work, then I don't know. Use your vampire strength or something. You know, it's not hard.
If you want a safe way to practice, I'm sure I can imagine a video game console back at the Balefire, and you could get some practice in that way without wasting ammo.
That sounds like a good plan. Here, Tristan say. Tristan kind of like walks over. He looks very shaken up. And hang on. I got a message pop up. Yeah, like Tristan looks very shook up by the idea that you're here and that anyone else is here. Like before he finishes getting over to you, he's like looked over to Marcus and is like, "Are you gonna be okay? You know, like looking after Leto and all that." And like Marcus replies, "It's fine. I will just continue to keep an eye on her, and hopefully she'll wake up soon."
Oh, okay. Interesting. Is this a torpor situation? If it's not rude for me to ask.
No, it's not rude of you to ask, but we think so. We're not entirely sure. For the past 2 weeks and a bit, Leto has just stayed asleep and won't wake up.
That seems concerning.
No matter how many times Tristan tries to shake the bed.
She certainly seemed very for an undead vital when we met her. So yeah, that's weird.
But it's fine. Take Tristan, go investigate, as you so call it.
Yeah, that's probably a good plan.
You'll have to
thank
use
you
the hole in the
for-
wall though, because you can't get to the main door right now.
Cool, good tip. Okay, well, yeah, thank you for not shooting us on sight. That is much appreciated. And yep, if we have any information that is helpful to share, we'll be back to let you know if your pals are non-dust.
Preferably non-dust would be great.
Yep. Keeping fingers crossed. All right. Come on, Axra. Let's go.
Yeah, you see that like, Tristan helps you across the barricade, and runs you across to the firing range where you originally entered. Except where there was the firing range, like where those bars were that Zelda popped out last time, there's now just a huge car-shaped hole in the wall. Actually, before we go, give me perception plus investigation. Difficulty 7.
Okay. 4 successes.
Damn, okay. As you go to enter the firing range on the ground, you see lots of like mechanical debris. Looking at it a little bit and like picking up the pieces, this is the remnants of Zelda's Frobisher phone. Looks like it was destroyed by an impact. But it's in a lot of pieces.
I kind of remember what Marcus said about there being a scuffle sort of towards the start of the interaction, and wonder if that was it.
I mean, you can see like a tiny bit of what looks like a wheel. So it looks like the Frobisher phone may have tried to turn itself into a tiny little car and tried to drive off, potentially.
I
You
see.
sort of see, as you're looking at it, you sort of see Tristan sort of goes, oh, yeah, that thing, no, we didn't steal it. After we all became friends, that phone decided that we weren't friends and tried to alert the authorities by turning into like a little RC vehicle and trying to drive away from us. Suffice to
that
say,
seems
like, phone is not faster than a vampire with celerity.
Yeah, that seems in character. Yeah, Frobisher doesn't really necessarily get all the nuances of specific social situations, which many of us can fail to do at certain points. But yeah, it seems to be a particular foible of theirs. Yeah.
What is the phase
Well,
obsession with penguins?
they're cute and they waddle around. I don't know. It's just vibes. A lot of face stuff is just vibes. It's hard to verbalize.
He he looks at you and like looks at Ashkara and like remembers what Zelda looked like, and is like, I thought I got vibes. I don't get vibes anymore.
Yeah. I think Fae like to be weird on purpose, I think. Or at least I do.
It's fine. It's fine. I can have vibes. I can have my own vibes. I will just call them Tristibes.
Cool. Portmanteaus. Yeah.
Look, you can try and give me charisma plus etiquette difficulty 8 if you like. Try and work out why Tristan's being a bit more Tristan than normal.
1 success.
I mean, 1 will do it. You only need 1 to succeed in this wonderful system. He misses his friend. Like his friend is gone for 2 weeks, and like it's uncharacteristic of them not to have some kind of contact. And his friend Dom was always the doer, so like, and he's the thinker, and so without having his bodyguard friend next to him, he's feeling a little bit vulnerable at the moment. And like, what just like sitting there for the 2 weeks and waiting for it all to like unfold. Like, yeah, it's been a rough. Like, you can sense that Marcus has probably had to slap some sense into Tristan a few times and like tell him to get it together. He's not the best in a crisis.
Yeah, I think Xena's like, hey, buddy. I know we just met, but it seems like you've been having a rough time. And if I can get your friends back, and it doesn't result in me dying, then I'll do my best. Okay.
The logical side of my brain tells me I shouldn't trust you, but the emotional side of my heart is telling me that I really, really want it to be true. Okay, fine. I will believe you, and I will follow you. Just tell me where I need to go.
All right. I think I hopefully remember the way out of
Oh yeah.
the
Before when you get to the edge of the tube system before you actually come out of it proper, you you sort of see Tristan go, I probably shouldn't be seen carrying a shotgun.
Oh yeah. Unless you're like dressed up in some kind of cosplay, I think you're not going to get away with it.
No, it's fine. I just need to read something. Hang on. You sort of just see him go, it's fine. And then you see him, he just sort of goes, I will be right behind you the whole time. If you're ever in danger, I will come out and help. I promise. And then you just sort of see him vanish into a wisp of smoke.
Seems legit. All right, let's go.
It's fine. I'm still here.
Neat. Okay. Yeah, Faye could probably do something like that. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
And yeah, just sort of heads towards the Balefire as fast, the freehold as fast as I can.
Yeah, you make your way back onto Camden High Street. It's the early hours of the morning at this point. You make your way to the freehold, and the first thing you notice is the car. It's still parked out there. That weird Prius Cybertruck hybrid with the rainbows everywhere. If you look at the front, it has like taken, like the front of it is mangled, as if it's been rammed through something. If you take a moment to like look inside, you'll notice that the Frobisher screen isn't online. Was at least not turned on.
I think I'll, before going in, I'm going to see if I can turn it on.
You can turn the screen on, but when it turns on, it just boots into diagnostic mode. It's almost like Frobisher's been uninstalled from the car.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I was hoping to get a bit of a précis of what may be going on in there before going in, but no. That's fair.
No,
a weird penguin précis.
Above the table, Zelda turned it off because Frobisher is no longer in babysitter mode for reasons.
Frobisher had it coming.
Cool. I will tentatively open the door and kind of leave appropriate space for an invisible being to go past me.
You try to open the door, and it doesn't budge.
I'm gonna say, "Hey, it's me. Well, why aren't you opening? It's I live here.
Me?
I'm Xena."
Oh shit! They're here. No. Sorry. Apologies. Ignore that. That wasn't supposed to happen. The door is currently under maintenance.
That sounds very convincing.
No, it's I dropped the key for the lock. I'm just looking for it now, and you can like hear like patting sounds. You can sort of see Tristan actually like appears, and it's just like, I think your door's giving you shit.
Okay, like, look, if you're pissed off that we were away for 2 weeks, that was some Fey nonsense. That's not our fault that we were away for so long.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I found the key. It's fine. And you sort of hear at the turn of a lock, and the door unlocking, and the door kind of like opens ever so slightly.
Okay, take 2. Here we go. Let's see if everything's how we left it.
You come down the stairs. I say down the road. You come down the stairs, and the freehold looks like a regular freehold. The Frobisher pots have all been turned off. They've all been like left in a huge pile on the huge like sort of like mounded pile on the workshop tabletop. You can give me any combination of check you want to try and investigate.
Cool. I think that intelligence investigation is probably my best bet.
Go for it.
What's the difficulty?
8.
Cool. 2 successes.
There are people living in this freehold. Like, and by the looks of it, they very quickly have scuffled to hide. They've tried to hide their tracks, but there's a few of them were like a bit too hasty. So like there's a footprint where like someone hadn't brushed quickly enough to like remove the dust away. And like there's a few tools that have just been left out. You remember, well, we didn't use them, and Zelda didn't use them. You see Tristan kind of notices what you're noticing, and then like takes the safety off the gun, or off the shotgun. It's just
hello.
Like, you see from behind the clock tower, a tall. Oh God, how tall did we say? 6'2", 6'5". I want to say it's closer to 6'5".
6'5" sounds familiar.
Yeah, 6'5" ish. Who knows? It could be the heels. You sort of see this tall 6'5" ish woman walk out, wavy blonde hair, wearing a white. No, it was a gold V-shaped dress that had white, like swirl patterns on it, and on their back was a ginormous double-sided claymore, the sword kind, not the put in front of you army blow up kind. I mean, do you know what? She could have them. You just can't see them. You recognize the face as Gwendoline, the Lady Gwendoline, the one off the screens. Behind
Gwendoline.
behind her is another woman wearing a very heavily burnt red dress, with kind of brunettish, scraggy hair, and well, I mean, you recognize this woman. It's the woman who said she'd follow you. It's Larissa. Looking, you can't tell if she looks pissed off or happy. She's kind of displaying every kind of possible emotion right now. Oh, hello.
Hi. I'm sorry for my extended absence. For me, it felt like 2 minutes, but very nonsense, you know. Where's
You
Zelda?
did dreaming things, did you?
Yeah.
So Zelda came back before you and had a bit of a how do we put it? Lapse of judgment. And decided that they would ally themselves with the vampires and try and stop us from reigniting the Balefires of London.
Okay.
I know.
think-
It was a terrible thing.
I feel like, I don't know. Zelda's made some wacky decisions, but something that big, I feel like there has to be some reason for it, even if it's maybe
Well, they
misguided.
did come storming in here with an entire coterie of kindred. Demanding to take over the place. You know what they're like.
Wild.
I know. And it's such a shame as well, because I saw such good things in Zelda. I honestly thought I could make them, you know, like head crafter of the kingdom. But it just goes to show that people show their true colors.
What kind of I have some meta knowledge that I don't know if Xena would have, so I'm just trying to get the sense of like how villainous is Gwendoline being right now? How is Xena picking up on this?
You can definitely give me perception plus etiquette.
What difficulty would that be?
I'm gonna make it an 8.
Yeah, fair enough.
Gwendoline is very good at hiding her intentions.
4 successes. I'm on it today.
Oh, she's lying through her fucking teeth.
Cool. Okay.
This is like, she thinks she's doing a good job, but you can just pick out that kind of curling smirk at the edge of her lips. She's enjoying this a little too much. She's doing the whole kind of like Little Mermaid Ursula vibe.
Cool. I'm going to play along for as long as I can until I get more information that is reliable.
I mean, look, we tried to convince Zelda that, you know, the vampires wanted to destroy us all, and that's why we needed the mirrors, and, you know, like, that's why we need them given to us. And they had them too. That's the thing. They had both the mirrors that the vampires had, and all Zelda had to do was hand them over to us. No, they were so disobedient. decided
Well,
that
I mean,
they'd be better off if they used them for themselves. Zelda's so convinced that she can open up a door to Arcadia with them that she decided to go rogue. And then when I tried to get my fellow Fae, and then she says like fellow Fae, you sort of see like the doors to all your houses opening, and like more and more Fae start coming out. All in all, there's about 20, maybe 25 of them. You sort of like see them all. We try to round them up peacefully, but they retreated into the dreaming, and I can't risk any of my fellow Fae's lives to tracking them down. You know? Let's just hope that madness and banality hasn't crushed those poor little vampires to death. The dreaming is such a harsh place to those that don't believe.
wow. Okay. I'm finding it hard to believe that it's so important to get these mirrors back that you're not willing to send any like one or two of these many Fae in there into our supposed home.
I care for my people. They're not henchmen or drones. Like, that's Gary. It's his birthday tomorrow. Like, you know, I don't
That's Brian.
that's
He's one day away from
numbers.
retirement.
I see them
They're
as
not drones.
She goes on this long triad of how she knows all these people. Like, their favorite color is blue, and like they like, and you can see at this point she is just making this shit up, and the person she's making it up with just nods in agreement to like keep the charade going. I'm not about to risk their lives on a suicide mission. Zelda will return. Otherwise, she'll go crazy in the dreaming.
All right, I can see that you're a very considerate boss.
I'm
and
a
that you have
very
the-
considerate boss.
You have everyone's
Now,
best interest at heart.
yes. Now,
But
on to more
but
important
I,
business.
Yes. Of course, I am happy to go into the dreaming and see if I can find Zelda, if that would help you.
No,
sort
that
this
wouldn't
mess
help
out.
me.
Interesting. Okay, why is that?
What would help me more is if you give me those mirrors you have in your pocket.
Interesting. Okay. Now is the time to use the Dominator effect on Gwendoline. And just like so is it a case of like it has to be a certain number of words command, or is it just kind of like a short
No,
sentence?
all you have to do is point the mirror at her and get her to say something. Sorry, all you have to do is point the mirror at her and get her to look at it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll take out so does she only need to look at one and then the two other ones will amplify the power, or does she need to look at all three?
You don't know the specifics. All you know from what you've seen so far is point speak.
Okay. I'll take one of them out. And kind of I'll look at it myself, and then I'll kind of point it in her direction so that the reflective surface is facing her, and go, these things are really beautiful, aren't they?
I mean, I'd say so, yes.
I'm
Larissa,
assuming that
grab
she's
it.
looking at.
As soon as you pull it out, Larissa charges for it. She has celerity, so she is much faster than you. Give me dexterity and athletics, difficulty 9.
Okay. Fail.
Yep. You pull it out, you go to point it towards her, and you just see Larissa appear in your hand and just grab it. Tristan has taken the safety off the shotgun. He will fire if you tell him to fire.
I'll just say, Tristan, bang bang.
Right, I need to roll. Okay. Okay. I need to just check because I have 3 shotguns in the Acropolis's armory, and I need to remember which one I gave Tristan and Marcus because what's inside that shotgun is important. Okay. You watch as Tristan opens fire with the shotgun, and you. I'll make you roll first. Give me another dexterity athletics, but this time it's difficulty 5.
Cool. Oh, no. There we go. 1 success.
Okay, you managed to pull away just in time with the mirror. You put your hand on to pull the mirror back. Tristan opens fire. This shotgun is one of my favorite ammo types in the whole vampire. It's Dragon's Breath. It is fire. This thing literally fires fire. Would have been pretty useless against Gwendoline, especially in a freehold. But Larissa's the only person in this room that gets affected by it. She is going to take a nasty chunk of aggravated damage from the blast. And I'm gonna. Oh, Tristan, my baby. I can't remember if Dragon's Breath rounds count as fire for frenzy, so I'm going to say that this one temporarily does because you're in a freehold, so it looks more like even more like real fire because hey, magic. Both of them fail their frenzy rolls. Tristan is going to drop the gun after seeing the flames come out of the shotgun, and he is going to run back out of the freehold. Larissa is going to panic. She can't get past you to get to the door, so she's going to run to the dreaming.
Interesting. I would like to pick up the shotgun. Yeah.
You pick up the shotgun. Pump it. There's one more Dragon's Breath round in here. You sort of see Gwendoline like watches this unfold, like winces slightly when the shotgun gets fired. Looks around. You just couldn't hand it over, could you?
You think you're so slick, don't you? You were absolutely loving every second of that when you sound, oh, I'm so miserable about poor Zelda. You were having a hoot of a time.
Yes, admittedly I was. Personally, I couldn't give 2 flying fucks if Zelda lives or dies. In fact, I'd actually prefer the death option, as long as it's slow.
Wow. Okay.
2 words. Disposable assets. That's all you were. So I needed you to be.
So much for caring, boss. Okay.
Oh, I couldn't give 2 flying fucks about you two. As long as I got my mirrors. You really think your little chrysalis friend was just so happening to have the chrysalis in the park where I knew there was a mirror? I just needed to get you there.
Okay. Is this the point where you tell me your plan in great detail so I can figure out how to stop you, or are
No,
you gonna hold out on
this is the
me?
part where I kill you.
All right. Okay, I'm just gonna leg it for the dreaming.
As you try going for the dreaming, so to get from the front door where you are to the dreaming, it's a straight up run across the square. You can try and give me dexterity. No, stamina actually. You can try giving me stamina, and I suppose it's athletics to get there quickly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It would be difficulty 8.
Yeah, that's very unlikely to succeed, but I will do it, and I think I might. Yeah, I'll just see if it works. One success. Yeah.
That's awesome. You make it to the dreaming door.
I think I'm pulling Axra along with me if that's possible.
Let me see if what does Ashra have? Okay. They roll 4. They get a success as well. You two run back into the dreaming again. Close the door behind you. As you go through, you see a couple of things. The first thing you see is where is it? First of all, that one. So as you enter the trods, you can see Larissa running down this trod path. Banality fighting against the dreaming as she's covered in this kind of blackish hue. She doesn't know where to go. You can follow her.
Yeah, I think it's too dangerous to let her run around willy-nilly in the dream.
So you reach the crossroads. Now, you know last time you took left, it took you into London, which means the path to the right must take you deeper into the dreaming. Kind of evil thought crosses your mind. You could just send her into the deeper dreaming. It would send her very, very mad.
Interesting.
Or you could send her back into Fey London. The problem with only having one Balefire in London is there is only one way out. Unless, of course, you jump back through the portal again. Yeah, so Larissa's there at like there's literally a wooden signpost with 2 signs, but they're written in a language that nobody can read, and it looks different for each person that looks at it. So to her, it looks like Latin. She don't know Latin.
So would sending her into the deeper dreaming be a case of just kind of chasing her there, or would it be a case of doing something magic about it?
I mean, at this point, given how frantic she looks, I mean, she's still in a half frenzy here. So you could just point and say, hey, that's the way out. Or if you want to get shenanigans about it, you could create another fire. That will scare her.
Yeah.
This is where you're like,
think,
can contract make fires?
Yeah. I think if it is possible in the dream, if it's possible anywhere, it'll be possible in the dreaming. I'd like to draw my umbrella and make it a flaming sword.
Yeah, you create a flaming sword. Your umbrella obviously is a sword here in the dreaming. It is now a flaming sword in the dreaming. Larissa sees that flaming sword and just runs in the opposite direction to you. So if you go down the London path, she's gonna go down the far dreaming path.
Yeah, definitely angle myself so that she goes where I want her to go into the deeper dreaming.
Awesome. She gives off a hiss and runs into the deeper dreaming. Oh, Larissa. there's Anna is not going to cry any tears at the idea of sending Larissa into the deeper dreaming. But that leaves you. You and Ashkara are walking down the path to lead you into Fey London. Slight problem. There's a new fork in the road that wasn't here last time. As per usual, there is a wooden signpost with signs that you can't quite work out what they mean. Where is the skill list? I mean, you could try and give me intelligence and enigmas.
Yeah, I'll give that a go.
Difficulty 8.
Okay.
While you do that, I'm going to roll a D100 just to see what happens to Larissa.
Cool. I got 2 successes on enigmas.
Let me just write down the number so I don't forget, because I will forget what I rolled for Larissa, and it's quite funny actually. So I rolled 69. One of these signs says London. The other, you can't quite work out what it says. The closest approximation you can get is Gothica.
That honestly seems rad. That seems great.
It's not a perfect translation, and it's almost like the word is changing in real time. Like it can't quite figure out what it wants to be itself. But it knows it's goth. It just doesn't know the last bit. It's currently settled on Gothica.
Okay, that just seems too intriguing to pass up. And knowing Zelda, if Zelda was presented with the opportunity to explore this new unplace, then I feel like she would do that.
You follow this path. The first thing you notice is this path loops back towards the Balefire paths. At the end of this path is a rather large Gothic door. Century period Gothic. This is a Balefire door. In London. Close to close-ish to the previous door you'd used. In fact, now you think about it, you can almost see the other door.
Okay. I mean, if someone has lit a different balefire and it's not swarming with Gwendoline's cronies, then that's great. But also, if it is, then that's bad. But it would be good to know either way. So yeah, I'm gonna suggest that we
Open the door.
open it and just see what's inside.
You open it and see, well, to see what's on the other side, you truly have to walk through it. They're special doors. You can't peek through them until you breach the dreaming. You go through and you enter this kind of gothic castle. A long wooden table, wooden floor, stone bricks, lots of stained glass windows depicting different characters. I can't quite remember all of them. I am going to say that Valerian is the last one with his white suit. I don't know how you do a white striped suit in on a stained glass window, but somehow it's there. But this place looks kind of empty. There's a fireplace. I'm going to ask one quick question for D. At the end of the last episode, you texted the group, didn't you?
Yeah, I texted them being like, "Hey, I'm alive. Is all everything good?"
Awesome. You come through, Xena, and your phone immediately buzzes as you receive that text. That text arrived yesterday.
Okay,
You look at your
good.
calendar. You've jumped another week and a half forward while you've been through the trods. Never use the dreaming, because Hedge can use it as a plot device to move the entire universe forward. Fed up of how slow your vampire game's going? Put them in a dreaming for an episode, then push time forward and go, oh no. You feel safe here, though.
Cool. I'll send a text back saying, "We found a gothic castle in the dreaming ? Are you here?"
Delightful. Zelda texts back, "Ah, you've seen the new freehold. Wonderful. Truly a marvelous, isn't it? I can tell you all about my adventures. I've made some new friends. They're all terrifying. There are no full stops in the sentence. It's just a run-on sentence.
No commas, no punctuation, just one continuously long sentence. I'm going to say that Zelda, to keep things simple, you probably stayed at the freehold during the night, because you can't get back to your old one. And you arrive there post haste to reconvene with the group. Before you have your massive reconvening, however, we will take a moment to take a break, get a stretch, get some water, because I am running out. I have drunk all of this in the proceedings of one half, and I can feel my throat going, Hedge, you better get me some more fucking water. So I'm going to go do that. We will be back in about 10 minutes, so about 25 to. Look after yourselves, be safe, and we will see you in a moment. Bye. Welcome back, everyone. Let's just jump straight to it. Zelda, you get to the shed door. I don't even think you asked for permission to go into the back garden now. You just open the door to the garden, walk to the shed, and open the shed door. Ollie has installed a Ollie flap on the edge of the shed so that they can get in and out of the shed via the window now, since you've turned his shed into a portal into another dimension. You go down the stairs and go back into the castle freehold. And you see your two friends, Xena and Askra, for the first time in 3.5 weeks.
Zelda, you're all right. Oh, thank. Oh my goodness. Are you okay? Is everything fine? This is wild.
Zelda smiles and says, "There is still no evidence that I can die. I'm glad to see that you two are both still okay."
Thank you. Yeah, I think we have skipped like multiple weeks traveling through the dreaming, so things have happened very fast for us and possibly not for you.
Ah, so you experienced time shenanigans too. I know that you slipped from the dreaming at a later point than I did, but I'm not entirely sure how much time has passed for you.
How much time has it been? It's been like half an hour. It's been like a couple of hours.
In the dreaming, it's only been like half hour for you in the dreaming.
Mm-hmm.
You with your original entry with the mech suit, you were only there for about an hour or two, and you jumped 2 weeks ahead. Then you went back in again, and you're only there for half an hour, but you've now jumped another week forward in mortal time.
Yeah, it's only been about an hour of time in the dreaming, and a bit longer in the autumn world. It's wild. Like, yeah, we popped out in the real Acropolis, met Marcus and Tristan. I don't know if is Tristan still with us at this point?
No one.
Did we?
Tristan ran away.
Oh yeah, he ran away from the fire.
Yeah, he ran away.
Yeah.
He went the other way.
Yeah.
He didn't go into the dreaming with you two.
Mm.
That was a whole different matter. Tristan being exposed to the dreaming.
Yeah. Tristan came with us, and Gwendoline revealed that she's evil, essentially. Sorry,
Yes! I'm so late to tell you. It's extremely important you do not go back to the freehold. Gwendoline is extremely evil and is using this as some kind of coup. Am I too late with this information?
We did go back to the freehold, but we managed to. Larissa was also there. She almost grabbed one of our mirrors, but I'm with Tristan's help, shooting her with fire shells. We managed to escape into the dreaming. Tristan ran away from the fire though, so he's still he's not with us anymore. Marcus is keeping guard of the Acropolis. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at the moment. And yeah, we just kind of followed our. We saw a sign for a place called Gothica, and we were like, that feels like something Zelda would want to explore.
Okay then I'll catch up on the rest. It is. I have also lost some time, but it seems a bit. We kept missing each other. It seems time is strange. I wound up in the freehold, in the Acropolis, surrounded by vampires. They're all very interesting and all somewhat terrifying, especially Valerian. But we're all friends. We have an agreement, and the spirit of cooperation. We are working together to try and make sure that we have all the mirrors and do not bring them together. Do not bring them together. Everything went wrong. Gwendoline caught on, and we are now enemies of her and her cronies, I suppose. We got the last mirror and we have used it to set up the Balefire here. So that seems to be going okay. Although we're going to have to eventually return it, at which point they're going to need help to maintain it. A lot of help.
All right. Okay. Any idea what Gwendoline's plan is to use the mirror some more?
Gwendoline was not acting under any real oversight from the council. She is trying to take over and place herself as effectively the queen of the fairies. Having all 7 mirrors is an extremely powerful way to do that. Now, we know of its 2 uses, one being a way to open its way back to our home, and the other being to destroy all banality. Um, I do not believe either of those options are something you can leave in her hands under any circumstances. We are simply disposable, loose ends, since we're not meant to be here. The moment she achieved her goal, we would be removed from the equation. We are going to die no matter what.
Right. Okay. And I'm guessing if you've kind of made friends with the vampires, getting rid of banality is a no.
I would. I should have been more open about this earlier, but I have a bit of a theory. If banality is the stagnation and boredom and gray dreariness of this world, if we were to simply delete it from existence, the things that are causing this world to be so banal in the first place won't disappear. All that'll happen is it'll be replaced by effectively glamour that regular mortals are not used to. So I would rather we don't actually destroy all banality. And now, especially because then it would kill all the vampires, which, sure, most of our encounters have been deadly and awful, but for the most part, they're just kind of trapped in the same kind of cycle that we are, in a world where they don't fit. I don't think we need to destroy them all. Just
Yeah.
the ones trying to kill us.
Yeah. Understandable. Yeah, Larissa ran off into the deeper dreaming, so she's probably lost her mind by now.
Fascinating. Did you get a look at what she looked like? Was there any kind of grayscale aura around her? Was any kind of changes in her physique or mentality? Please tell me everything you saw in exquisite detail.
She was scared of the fire shells, so she was also running, but she ran into the dreaming instead of away. And I just kind of I took our chimerical umbrellas, made it into a flaming sword, and kind of pointed her in the direction of the deeper dreaming, and just saw her run off. I don't have any further information than that, unfortunately. But if we could possibly go look for her at some point. Probably don't bring any vampires.
We have to study her and find out what happens. It was fascinating. When I went to the dreaming with the vampires, it was like their very existence itself was rejected by the dreaming, but they could still function to a limited degree. But Larissa seemed interesting, odd. She seemed like a rather powerful vampire, at least from the first glance. And the state that she's in, she'll either be absolutely destroyed or something worse will happen. I can't wait to find out.
Cool. Okay. Nice. So, could you give me a rundown of what vampires are around, who they are? Because, yeah, I've only met Marcus, Tristan, and Leto, I think, at this point.
Currently with us, we have Dominic, all the words disappeared, Wally, and why is it the last one that always escapes me?
Who have you said so far?
Dom, Wally, Valerian exists, but is not with us at the moment. The owner of the house, Goth Dude.
Altair.
Altair, perfect. And Altair. And I kind of give brief descriptions of everyone, which you don't know how accurate they are, because Zelda does not pay attention to how people look. But Altair is the one that owns this place, the house and, well, the shed. So this is their freehold, and we are guests here, just making sure they can maintain it, which might be a bit difficult with all of the banality they exude, but not impossible. There's a werewolf that plays guitar.
What? That plays what?
Oh, werewolf that plays guitar. Come on, keep up.
Okay, cool. Nice. The werewolf have a name?
Zelda spaces out, and she does not remember the name. Like, not important, not important. Small details. What matters is our old freehold is definitely barred from us, and it's only going to be a matter of time before they see the very obvious bridge in the dreaming connecting it to here. So we cannot leave Gwendoline to do as she pleases.
Right. When I spoke to her, she seemed reluctant to send any of her buddies into the dreaming, and she gave this whole spiel about their birthdays and their favorite colors, and it seemed like a whole smokescreen for something. She just doesn't want to send them into the dreaming for some reason.
I wonder if she's actually slightly more wary of us than she lets on. From our perspective, she's always called us incompetent, but we have managed to collect all the mirrors at this point. We have a pretty distinct advantage over her. She just has numbers.
Yes. Yeah, I think trying to convince us that we can't change anything is probably to our advantage.
Whatever we do, we might. I really would rather not speak with the council, but I think we might have to update them on the Gwendoline situation. I do not know what'll happen to us if we do, though.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of gray areas. But if she's working out with the say of the council, they're going to find out eventually, and it would be better for us if we were to tell them, because we would seem like the good little guys who tell on the naughty teacher for breaking the rules.
Amazing. Zelda nods like, yes. I never imagined my future I'd be a snitch, but here we are.
I mean, the whole thing about snitches get stitches, I understand where it comes from, but sometimes sometimes if someone does something bad, you got to tell someone about it. How else are you going to fix it?
We might also need to do extreme violence. I strongly suspect the council will not help us.
Cool. Yeah. Loads and loads of powerful fae just sitting on their asses doing nothing. Sounds about right.
Very, very in character. Okay, then. For now, I've made an agreement with the vampires in Valerian. They have the other half of the mirrors. We have our half. We are not to put them together. We do not know what will actually happen if we do. And if we ever wish to change this, then we have to all come to an agreement together. It would be very bad for me personally if you were to break this agreement, but do not worry about that.
All right, cool. Because I've got 3 on me right now, so yeah, I would if I need to have conversations with other people with mirrors, probably some swapsies need to happen. Cool. Okay. Or we can kind of distribute them a bit more so that, like, as long as you promise not to throw them into any more weird things. I don't know.
Spread them out across the room, see what happens. I have a few theories, I suppose. Having 3 mirrors in one location, 2 in the real world, 1 the dreaming, was strong enough to pull me out of the dreaming entirely. I can see why someone would suspect that putting them together might be able to pull us back to our home. But what would happen to everything around us? I mean, just pointing in the general direction the shard. I'm probably pointing in the wrong direction. I'm indoors, but just like there's a large crack in space and time in the sky, and that can't have gotten there from nothing.
Do you think it was the mirrors that did that before we got a hold of them?
Always a possibility. I
Interesting.
guess we have more questions for the council.
Yeah. Okay, so it sounds like council is high on the priority list before we figure out what the fuck to do with these heckin' mirrors.
Zelda's staring like in the general direction of the mirrors. Like you can tell she wants to grab them, but she has been forbidden from doing so. And so they're like, perhaps in a better world and better environment, I can study these more carefully. For now, we need to prepare for war. I need to make a lightning gun.
Cool, okay. When I was doing drag shows in a bar in Cambridge, I did not think I would end up here.
See, it's funny you mentioned Cambridge, because Cambridge is where the council live now. After leaving London, they all moved to Cambridge. It was a toss-up between Oxford or Cambridge, and they went for Cambridge. Because that's the kind of people the council are. If you did want to contact the council, they're in a freehold, so you could go back into the dreaming and trod your way around to their freehold. Or you could get out and drive, like a normal, like normal non-fey normies.
Yeah, I think that from Xena's perspective, there's been enough dreaming time hopping going on. I think she's keen to do some sort of normie stuff for a bit to kind of get their brain back on track.
To get my brain back on track, I am going to use the train.
Yeah.
I'm going to experience what rail delays feel like, and then I'll wish I was
Let's go to
back in the
King's
dreaming.
Cross.
Alternatively, you could spend some time mirror investigating. There's a lot about these mirrors you don't know. There's a lot about these mirrors that Zelda would probably love to know. So you could definitely go do that. Or you could just go find Gwendoline and punch her in the face. I mean, that's also an option. Not to tell you what you can and can't do. I mean, that is something you can do. And this, if you as players have been anything but, hey, this is the way that Head has put like a little glowing sign saying that's the way. Let's go do the thing that he doesn't want us to do. Like, let's break into the Acropolis. Like, this whole series has just been, let's not do what Hedge wants us to do, and we will live with the consequences. So I'm no longer putting up arrows. You can just do what you want, and I'm just gonna laugh and have fun either way.
Nice.
You had one simple job: not to go into the Acropolis. And you couldn't do it. You couldn't help yourselves.
It's hard to resist the big red signs.
Yeah, it was near. It was the closest one.
I get flashbacks to the first episode of Towerfall all over again. It's like, all you got to do is go that way. Immediately, no, goes off the opposite direction, splits the party. It's like, what? You're breaking every rule of TTRPGs. But no. Have a think about what you'd like your next move to be.
Cool.
I
think possibly since we now have all the mirrors, getting Zelda to investigate them would probably be getting more information before contacting the council is probably a good idea.
So we have the upper hand in info. Yes.
Yeah, if we know stuff they don't, they might be impressed. But I doubt it. But I always take the chance.
The more you know.
Ding, 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 ding.
Okay, so I'm going to lay out an option for you. You don't have the workshop anymore. Gothica does not have its own Frobisher-built workshop or laboratory. So you'll have to come up with other plans. There is a strand of logic that if the British Library in the real world is full of knowledge, then the Fey equivalent must also be full of knowledge. So you could always opt to go for a let's jump into the dreaming one more time and go look at the library.
Oh, this sounds like a terrible plan, but it would work.
Hey, look, I'm just putting ideas in your heads. I mean, you could go to the real life British Library. I just don't know how much success you're going to get looking for books about magic mirrors. You would possibly get to see Lito's home, though, before anyone in the vampire game. Which is quite hilarious, actually. Wakes up to find that Zelda's been in a living space. No, I'm not that bad.
But yeah, Zelda will probably suggest the jump into the dreaming library and specifically say that it seems that for every time that we've been dreaming, there's been points where time is synced up between the dreaming and the real world. If we are lucky and swift, we will not lose an entire week of our lives. If we are not, then, well, it is what it is.
I solemnly
Oh.
swear that I will not push time beyond normal rates. And this is on camera, and I'm holding my hand up. So if I get this wrong, then I'm allowed to be punished.
Holding you to it. Holding you to it.
I have a question with regards to
Mhm.
my house. Let me just get because the thing is, if I go for a certain number of weeks without
Mhm.
glamour, then I age. So do I? Am I counting my my
You're
experience
counting your
weeks?
experience days, not
Okay.
not Fey days.
Cool. Okay, that
Um,
makes sense.
yeah.
Because
For you, this has only been like a day. Like this isn't.
Yeah.
Plus, the dreaming would have frozen that anyway because time in the dreaming is well non-existent
Yeah.
technically.
Cool. Yeah. It's just weeks. Yeah, experienced weeks in the real world that
Yeah,
age you.
that
Cool.
course you.
If you don't have grammar.
Yeah.
Glamour.
I mean, yeah, grammar and glamour are both equally important.
Yes.
So everyone put 3 points into your grammar score. Every time you forget an apostrophe, you lose a grammar score.
Yeah. Nothing belongs to the CD. It's not CD apostrophe S. It's just CDS.
What do you mean a CD can't own things?
If it's a Fey CD, maybe. But if it's a regular mortal
Yeah.
CD, it can't own
Checks
anything.
out. Checks out.
But you can't. It's like the one that gets me is when people say happy holidays, but there's an apostrophe. I had a full argument with the English teacher over do you put the apostrophe in happy holidays or not. Because I said you can't because a person can't own the holidays. But apparently there's a grammatical exception which says you do put the apostrophe in holidays. It's like, okay.
Wild.
A billion
Yep.
exceptions.
Yep. That is why you don't learn English.
Yeah. It's a
Okay.
Frankenstein language. I mean, all languages are Frankenstein languages, but yeah, English especially so.
So we're going library.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Awesome. with a deep breath, I guess, we go back into our wonderful dreaming. It feels weird being back in London again. Fey London, that is. So a few important things. Step one, no mech suit. That is a perk you no longer have. And its engines were also cannibalized to make the cold fusion engines for the turtle, which is still up there, by the way. You can still see it if you look hard enough. If you squint hard enough, it's about the size of an aeroplane from down here. But yeah, Zelda can go like, look, there it is. That's the turtle that we're keeping up with the power of science. The shard looks a little different than it did last time. The dark, like metallic hues of the glass are now kind of glowing purple. For some reason or another.
Look at that! Look at Xena! Like, we need to do something about that, right?
Also, it's evening here in the dreaming. Which is a bit weird, because last time you were here, Zelda, it was nighttime. And it's always been nighttime every time you've been here, but it's evening now. There's actual sunlight.
I noticed this. And as we're kind of walking in the general library-ish direction, at least for now, point out that initially I assumed night was a natural state for this place, or if it wasn't, then the vampire presence would have an effect on it. Wasn't expecting the time of day to change. When we are done with the Balefire mirror and we turn it to the turtle in the sky, we should probably examine the shard. In fact, maybe even before, we should probably examine the shard more closely. We just can't really get up to the top from here, but we can in the real world, in the autumn world.
Interesting.
Yeah, Xena, you see Zelda mention that in the back of your mind, that memory pings about 3 mirrors being close to each other can open a portal or a rift that can pull you from one to the other. You could get to the top of the shard in the mortal world and then pull yourself into the dreaming that way. That's a possibility. The library isn't as big as it was in the mortal world. It's still a Victorian building. Hasn't had any expansions done to it yet, or any like extensive remodeling. You enter this place, and it is just rows upon rows upon rows of bookcases full of books. In true Fey fashion, there is no Dewey Decimal System. There's no way of categorizing these books, and they're not alphabeticized. They seem to be arranged in some kind of order, but it's not immediately obvious what the order is. Like, there isn't even categories for things like nature, outdoors, travel. Like, there's a travel guide, and then there's a book to the art of war. Then there's a book on how to cook curry. Like, the order seems insane, but you instinctively know in the back of your minds there is an order to this. Like, something is telling you that there is an order to this. You just don't know what the order is. At the librarian's desk, you see a calico cat just sort of sleeping on the desk.
Gina's instant instinct is to go, "Oh, hello, you," but realizes that in the Fae realm, then in the dreaming, this may actually be like a sentient being with who would not appreciate being baby talked at, so resists that temptation. And I think there is a thing in my character where on the rare occasion that they must that satyrs must resist temptation, they trigger banality. So I don't know if that's a strong enough temptation to trigger.
Yeah, I'd say you take a banality point as you
yeah,
try to
that's
resist
fair.
the urge to go pet the cat.
Yeah. So is that the dots or the crosses?
That's the crosses.
Cool.
Here you
There we
go.
My banality's not too bad right now, so I can take a
I can
not
take a penalty
offending a
hit.
fey cat. I'd
Is
rather not
Zelda
offend a
is,
fey.
is Zelda going to try and offend the fey cat?
She might, but for different reasons. With Zelda being an extremely mundane person by Fae standards, she looks at it and starts listing off facts about cats. Just just idle random facts. Not even considering the fact that this might be a magic cat.
Yeah, you start just listing cat facts, and you sort of see there's a sort of cat like gets up, stands up, stretches, like puts its paws out the front, and there's a long stretch, and it's like, I'm more than a fact book, you know.
Ah, you're sentient. That's delightful.
All cats are sentient.
This feels scientifically incorrect, but I will take in the fact that I may not have as much knowledge as I think. Hello.
Just cats in the mortal world haven't developed a universal language to communicate with humans, but cats are sentient.
Fascinating! Jot it down in a notebook. Take cat to dreaming, see what happens.
What are you doing in my library? No one's been in my library for a while.
Sorry to disturb you, but we have some artifacts that could either very much help or very much hinder the dreaming and the Fae in general. And we hoped that your library might have some information which would guide us on the best way to use these artifacts in a way that doesn't destroy everything.
Oh, okay. You just see the cat just like sits down and just starts licking its paw, completely ignoring you for a few minutes. Oh, I thought you'd go away if I just stopped talking. I mean, yes, I have books about artifacts and stuff, I guess. Mirrors, artifacts. You're probably going to need to go to bookcase D, shelf 95, row 202. I think. Or did I move them to make way for the catnip? I don't know. Try that.
Cool. Thanks for the tip. We will, if we find any catnip, we can bring it back to you.
That sounds very, very nice. I can't remember where I put it. I can't remember if I put it in the travel section or if I organized it with the languages. Or did I leave it in the Arcadia section? No matter.
If we come across it, we can send it your way. Yeah, thanks for the help.
As you go to walk away, you see the cat just like gives off an actual meow to get your attention, and then is like, it's rude to leave a cat without giving it attention first.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know kind of how to do the sort of body language with cats in the autumn world, but I yeah, with the added feature of language, it's kind of thrown off my senses, so I apologize.
You just see it just literally like fall on its side, reveal its stomach.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do scritch. I do neck scritchies. I do head strokes. I do if it's one of those cats that likes belly rubs, I do belly rubs. If it instantly starts to claw at me, I stop doing belly rubs.
No, it likes belly rubs.
Nice.
Yeah, you do all that. See, I can have wholesome moments in my game too. It's not just all nightmare fuel. I can do nice things too. And I will admit there is that voice back in my head going, turn the cat into a nightmare creature. Turn the cat into a nightmare creature. It's like, no. Okay, so bookcase D. I mean, those were some very big numbers. And like looking at these bookcases, you're like, well, how can it be like row 202, shelf 90, whatever? Like there's only 4 shelves on a single bookcase. You get to bookcase D, and it is only 4 shelves, 3 rows across. This is way too short.
I think Xena's first thought is to do some Minority Report nonsense and try and kind of swipe at the shelves, see if they just kind of move and if they like
Fantastic.
scroll like on an iPad.
I love it when my players find the answer to the puzzle in one rather than having to. Yeah, you can grab this and you can just pull it up and move it across like a coordinate system. So I really want you to like push the bookcase or try rattling it. You like lift it and lift it and lift it and move it until eventually you find row 202 of shelf. I think it's like 93. I think I said. There is a whole bunch of books on magical artifacts. The problem is that when you take a book out, there's another book behind it. This goes back for about 5 books of depth. There is a lot of books.
Mm-hmm. This is starting to sound like my bookshelves. Yeah.
It's like, somehow there's a bookshelf behind this bookshelf.
And just like some kind of awkwardly on the top of the ones on the shelf.
There's one that like can't go in flat ways, so it's gone sideways, but it's now holding 2 columns together. So if you remove that, the other 2 columns can like collapse in on each other, and probably make a mess. You can give me, the pair of you, any intelligence-y smarts check you would like for where you want to focus your investigation in these books.
Nice.
Let's see.
I'm gonna say I've got quite a few 2-dot sort of academic sort of intelligence things, but I'm gonna channel my former philosophy student and go academics.
Okay.
I will try to focus on anything that seems unusual about the books themselves and go investigation.
Okay. I'm going to say Ashkara does enigmas and wits. because they've got 7 dots in that. All rolls are difficulty 7.
Cool.
Nope. Not too shabby.
Pretty good.
Let me do 7.
Yo. Okay.
So 3 for me, 2 for Zelda, 4
2,
for
4.
Akshara.
Awesome. So everyone succeeds and everyone gets something. Okay, I'm gonna roll them all into one to save doing the whole break it up into different bits and bobs. There are a lot of artifacts in these books, an awful lot of artifacts. There's like the crowbar of Versailles, which was made during the First World War. It's a cold iron crowbar, apparently made by a French fae in the trenches near Versailles. That is somewhere in the near dreaming, they think. Its actual final resting location is unknown. Turns out the Fae love mirrors. There are a lot of mirror artifacts. You start trying to look for like mirrors that may have like control properties or other like bits like that. You come across one mirror called the Banality Purification System. It is a full-length mirror that when you stand in it and look at yourself, it purges you of banality and can reset your banality score if you stand in front of it. Eventually, you find the bits you want on these particular mirrors. These mirrors are difficult to find because they have many names. They've been referred to as under different pseudonyms over the years, decades, millennia. These mirrors are so old, it's actually hard to tell who made them and when they were made. They were the most common, like, up-to-date name you can find for them are rose mirrors. Which checks out because, you know, they've got roses on the back of them. With the exception of the Balefire mirror, which has a flame. They were a gift, allegedly. While they may have been made many millennia ago, the story of the rose mirrors is that they were collected from the dreaming and were originally supposed to be a gift for the vampires. Hence their dominate vampiric quality. These were supposed to be a gift for a kindred organization called the Camarilla, and was supposed to signify a kind of pseudo-alliance between the Court of Dreams and the Camarilla as a kind of, hey, have you seen those werewolves over there? They look like bad shit. Maybe we should do something about them. Here's a gift to prove that, you know, we're not bad, evil people. The problem is the Camarilla never got those mirrors because then they just disappeared again. there seems to be a recurring theme of these mirrors appearing and then disappearing after a while. The theory that this would wipe out all banality is a myth. It's not true. Uniting these 6 mirrors does not remove all banality. It would be a dick move to give a group of vampires a bunch of mirrors that, when united with their trigger, would actually wipe them out. But if all 6 of these mirrors are reunited with their trigger, it will open a permanent portal between the dreaming and the autumn world. Now, for Zelda and Zelda's logical brain going, what would happen if that to happen? Essentially, this is, how do you make the autumn world livable for changelings? Well, you blow the dam and you let the glamour and the dreaming seep into the autumn world. You turn the autumn world into another layer of the dreaming. And that means that Faye can live here perfectly fine. I mean, it may be a bit of a shock to the humans when, you know, chimerical creatures suddenly start appearing out of thin air. But hey, you begin to read at how that would happen. And I think all of you realize at the same time, it's already started to happen. Those 6 mirrors that you're holding, these mirrors that you are fighting over, have already been activated. That gap at the top of the shard is getting bigger. And you now know that it's not pulling glamour or banality into the dreaming, it's expelling glamour and dream stuff into London. To prevent this, you have to destroy the mirrors. Now, as we've learnt in our lovely vampire sessions, vampires cannot destroy these mirrors. They are indestructible to vampires. Fae, however, can destroy them. But it isn't just enough to break these mirrors. If you shatter one, if you break it in half, it will just disappear and reform somewhere else in the dreaming, somewhere else in the future in the autumn world. And the whole process will restart. To destroy these, you need to take them back to where they were once made. It mentions a workshop in the deep dreaming. In the deepest depths of the deep dreaming. Pretty much almost to the depth of Arcadia itself. There is a workshop. If these mirrors were thrown back into the furnace that created them, all of their magical effects on the universe would be dispelled.
This is all harrowing. All right.
I mean,
it makes sense now. 3 mirrors pulling you through to the world and creating a rift behind you. It was there the whole time.
It's true. It's true. Um, Zelda looks at Xena as we're kind of all collectively piecing this together and is like, so I think we're in agreement that letting that as much as the air itself would be better and more breathable for us Fae, letting in monsters and chimeric nonsense might be disruptive for human society, right?
Yeah, as much as I would like to understand what it is to live an unencumbered Fey existence and not have to go through this cycle of mortal shells, I've grown fond of humanity and don't want to absolutely turn their world on its head just for the convenience of our community.
You also know that we will not be remembered as heroes for this. We will be damned for all history as those that have limited our potential as Fae, unless we can find some kind of other way to create a similar effect.
Yeah, I don't understand why Arcadia is so difficult to find, because if we could just go back there, we could do our thing, humans could do their thing, it would be fine, but that seems to not be possible. And also I'd miss them a bit.
I find that there's shockingly few things that are impossible. We'll find some way to get back to Arcadia, some other way. We cannot turn the autumn world into it. We cannot chase that which we've already lost.
Yeah. And it may just be a case of grass is always greener. Oh, there was this old place called Arcadia. It was great. Nostalgia, nostalgia, nostalgia. And actually it was fine or bad.
Personally, I think a place without mundane materials to work with is dreaded, in my opinion. But what do I know?
You hear a
Cool.
cat voice in the background that just says nothing.
Wasn't talking to you.
All right, so I'm guessing the vampire pals would not do well going into the deeper dreamings. So if we want to destroy them, this is probably on us.
Unfortunately, you're probably correct. They seem to survive fine in this layer, but anything beyond that, I would be quite concerned with. I suspect Dominic would survive quite a long time for some reason. Maybe Wally? Nope, it's not worth risking.
I mean, I guess we could kind of explain to them all the risks, and it's up to them if they want to take the risk. But with strong advice against it, and then let them decide if they lose their minds. That's on them.
Out of all of the vamp group, Altair is probably the best suited to the dreaming because they are now Fey touched.
True.
You know, they eat glamour. A bit like Pac-Man. These are just literally, just like check little balls of glamour, and Altair so like that's how you get them to the deep dreaming. Just put little balls of glamour in front of them.
And the ghosts are horrid chimerical beasts.
Exactly.
So that means
you are going to have to convince the vamp group to give up their mirrors. Which, while Leto is asleep, might be the easiest to do. If Leto wakes up, getting those mirrors back might be trickier.
It seems like if these mirrors exist, there's going to be loads of glamour pouring in, which is probably not good for vampires.
No.
Except ones that eat it.
just Altair hanging off the edge of the shard, just going nom nom. Like a cat trying to get water but standing underneath the tap. It's like but yeah, if you have any other mirror related questions or bits you want to know, now is the time to ask the questions while you have some successes.
Ooh, what could I ask? What could I ask? So we don't know when they're made. Yeah, well, take a moment. We don't know when they're made or how old they are. We just know that they're ancient. We know the dominate effect, and we know their weird portal opening effect. And you know how to destroy them, which is an important one right now. That forge, where they're from, do we know anything about what, like, if anything still lives or functions there?
So you know that it's called the altar, but you don't know its specific location. This is like most deep dreaming places, their actual locations have been lost to time. You would probably have to take the trods all the way into the deep dreaming and then work it out from there. I'm sure there's a talking dragon or something that might know where it is. I just realized I can make Furbies real.
No!
My brain, I'm like, oh, I need some cute cuddly creatures. My brain went Furbies, and it's like...
You could do it. It'd be so easy to justify.
I love the dreaming. The dreaming is just a canvas to do whatever the fuck you want.
Oh god, an Ewok Furby alliance would be terrifying.
Amazing.
Now that's what we need. That's what I now need. I need a Star Wars movie remade where the Ewok jungle replaced with Furbies.
Yeah.
During the Imperial attack. Any other questions?
I don't think I have any specific questions. It's just planning things. Xena?
I'm curious if there's any more details about like when this Camarilla alliance was meant to happen, whether there's a specific point in history that we can pinpoint or whether it's just kind of nebulous deep past kind of things.
So this was it was around the 1800s. This was supposed to happen. This was like, banality wasn't so bad in the 1800s. Banality is definitely getting worse as modern times continue to advance. As for the question of that hole above the shard, how long has it been there? That, based off what you've seen, you think that was activated maybe 5 years ago? Potentially.
Very specific time frame.
It is an awfully specific time frame, D. It's almost like I might be pinning it to something. It's almost like something else happened at that time. And you're missing a piece of the puzzle.
Oh, the vampire is going to hate everything about about this.
Oh no, it's fine because the vamp group could have learnt this, but they didn't. They left it
But they
behind,
did!
and then no one's bothered to check. They have been sitting on a huge archive, and none of them have thought to go, I wonder if it's in the archive. And actually, that's a lie. Wally did pick up some of it, so Wally does know some of it. Wally kind of knows some idea about who might have activated the mirrors. But that will be a secret he takes to his grave. Unless you fancy having a crack at trying to figure it out, Zelda. You are a smart one.
I can attempt.
Do you know what? It's 20 to 5. We've got 20 minutes left. I am in a shenanigans mood. Give me intelligence. I'll give you the best chance of success, right? Give me intelligence and science.
Ooh.
At difficulty 10. If you can get a single success on this.
That checks out. I can't imagine being good at physics helps me at this, does it?
No.
Got it. Let's see. I believe drawing so close.
And how do you roll 3 dice?
What? Oh, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't select the.
I was at the site. I'm like, how did you roll 3 dice?
Hang on. I'm just gonna roll intelligence and add them together.
It's fine. Just do the do a science roll again, but add intelligence this time.
All right, cool. Intelligence, please. Difficulty 10.
No.
It was destiny.
Yeah. You don't know what it is. Like, you're sitting there going, I mean, Xena can try it.
Like, on the off chance, just like absolutely just like straining back
really,
to like high school biology and just like
those philosophy gears really starting to grind now.
Yeah. Would Nietzsche come in any handy here?
Like, just come in with like, I mean, go on. I'll say it will. It has no effect on anything, but just because I'm trying to root for you a little bit.
Cool. So
I mean, if you can work the
do...
trolley problem into this, then you know.
So academics, philosophy, intelligence, 10.
Yeah, go for it.
Sweet. 2 successes. Rene Descartes, save me.
Summons all of the most influential philosophers in the world. It's like, help me figure out this problem. How did this all start? It's a Fey library. They probably have a copy of the archive. Xena. You're sitting there, like Zelda is probably like, what? Banging your head against the table, trying to figure out like why is 5 years ago significant? And you remember a few bits and bobs. Like in the back of your mind, you remember it being mentioned ages ago. Probably like episode 1-ish, I think it was mentioned in like casually. That 5 years ago, the vampires won a huge victory. And that's when their numbers started to swell in London even more. Hence the withdrawal agreement. So you go back to the cat. A few scritches later, you begin to ask about what books do they have on kindred London history. because this is a live library. Books are being written as we speak. There's a book being written about you being in the library right now. You pick up some documents. You start to look over. You realize that what had happened was that the Kindred had defeated their mortal human enemy, the Second Inquisition, who are a bunch of power-hungry, we want to kill all vampires lot. Think hunters, but with suits and government resources. And then you're like, okay, this Second Inquisition lot sound interesting. So what did they know? And so you pull up their full archive, everything they had at the Tower of London. From here, you work out that it was they who activated the mirrors. So from their point of view, just like from the vampires, these mirrors are vampiric artifacts. That's what they were designed to be. So they all think it's theirs. And so that means this Inquisition group were very interested in them. They couldn't get all 6 mirrors, but they did have one for a very brief period. And with brute human force, and that wonderful engineering that they have, I mean, Zelda would be proud almost, if not horrified. They use that one mirror to amplify its effects to 6 mirrors, thus activating the trigger directly above the shard. That wasn't intentional, by the way. The shard wasn't the target. The target was actually the Tower of London, but they missed. And it ended up being the top of the shard instead. Yeah, they were the ones who had decided to start the Fey apocalypse, I guess. If not, oh look, there's the librarian. The librarian has decided to latch on to Xena now and just go with them. That is it now. Just for the rest of this campaign now, Xena has a cat. The library cat.
It's been lonely in the library. Not enough attention.
Not enough attention. Yeah, because I mean, all I've got to do all day is lie down, eat food, have catnip, and mess around with the auto-writing books. So, with all that information, you now need to convince the vampires to hand over their mirrors. You need to find a way into the deep dreaming. And you need to find a way to destroy them. Preferably before that hole in the sky gets any bigger. Ideally. No pressure. So the question is, D. / Zelda. Who you gonna call?
Oof.
I mean, you can, when you get out of the dreaming, you're gonna need to message a vampire and convince them to hand over the mirrors. Which one do you think is the most amenable to handing them over? I'm gonna keep quiet and not try to laugh as you suggest them.
It has to be someone who's going to accept, and also, if like Valerian or someone is awake, be able to convince or take the mirror from him. So that narrows it slightly.
Well, it doesn't necessarily narrow it, because if anything, it kind of expands it. So Valerian is a business person.
Mhm.
I'll boil it down. Valerian is a businessman who understands deals and contracts. Now, you just so happen to have a Xena.
Oh yes, I can do a magically binding contract.
And Valerian knows of these magic binding contracts because he explicitly asked when you two shook before if it was a magically binding deal. And obviously you had to say no because you can't do that.
Yeah.
So Valerian is aware of Fey magic, and maybe you could use Xena as okay, we'll magically shake on it. You have our word deal. Dom, you just have to appeal to Dom's sense of not destroying the world.
Yeah.
Wally, you just have to convince that there are scientific applications to witnessing what happens if we seal this breach. I think Altair, you've just got to give them some glamour. Just say, look, here's a chance to get some more glamour. Leto, I will be honest, I don't know how you would convince Leto. As a person who has to write story for them, they are so unpredictable. I have no idea what you would have to do to convince them to hand them all over. Willingly hand them all over.
It's just not happening. With that in mind, the two best options are, in fact, either Dom or Valerian himself. Dom, because I think I could probably convince him fairly easily. Maybe not as easily as Altair, but the thing is, if the mirrors are on Leto's person, Dom can get them and not die. Are on Valerian's person, then Dom can get them and not die. Basically. And Valerian would also be a good bet because it's simply, hey, all right, this is the situation, this is the new information. We have contract person here, let's renegotiate, kind of thing. Or something. I think Wally would be too sad to see the mirrors actually get destroyed. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Awesome. You retreat back from the library, back to your new castle freehold. Time hasn't passed. I've not done time shenanigans. It's fine. Only 1 minute has passed. If anything, I've done reverse shenanigans, and you've gained time this time. See, that's the thing. In the book, it actually mentions that time's supposed to go the other way, where like you can spend 2 days in the dreaming, but come out it's only been like 1 second. And I hate that. So I was just like, screw that. I'm going to do it the other way around. Okay. The final part of tonight's session, or afternoon session even. Ready for tonight's session. That's a mouthful. Zelda, I need you to pick someone to contact and tell me what you would say to try and convince them.
All right. I will.
You may consult with your fellow failings.
Sure, I'll do so. As I kind of explain to Xena their rough temperaments, Valerian is terrifying and does not like sudden changes that will have drastic consequences on his peace.
It's almost like Valerian's autistic.
Oh, you could maybe, perhaps. Who would have thought? Here's who I have made the deal, the contract with, to not bring the mirrors together. So contacting him directly for this would work, it would just be terrifying. Uh, Dom seems to uh, Dom seems to be scarier than they like let off. But if he contacted him, I think it'd be easy to convince that this is for the good of the entire world, including your vampires and especially your vampires. So it wouldn't be too difficult. Altair has an entire free Balefire right there, so it'd be easy to convince us, hey, just bribe them with glamour. Wally just wants to learn more about the world, just like I do. And just like I do, would be heartbroken to know that we are going to destroy these mirrors permanently.
Okay. So it sounds like Dominic is the best option from my limited understanding.
It might be so, yes.
Though I can do magically binding contracts. So if we need to show willing and we need to offer any assurances to them that we're not fucking them over for the sake of it, then that might help.
We will definitely have to show that we can do that. It would be bad for us to just go, hey, we're going to take all of the mirrors and just trust that we won't use them to destroy you all.
Yeah.
All right, then. Then my message is such. As Zelda takes out her phone. Oh gosh, how do I even say this? Okay. I'm actually going to try and type this to try and think it out.
I'm taking this seriously, goddammit.
We've got 7 minutes. Go.
All right, I'll say it and I'll type a rough version later. We've discovered what these mirrors are. They bring in they break holes in reality and bring in the dreaming into the real world. They have already been activated in the past and are slowly turning the autumn world, the mundane world, into the dreaming. This will, of course, be disastrous for vampires and for non-Fey humans. We are going to destroy them. We are going to make it so no one can ever use these mirrors again in such a way. But for that, we'll need your mirrors as well, and to go into the deep dreaming to destroy them for good. This is dangerous for those who go, so we're planning to do this alone, unless you wish to risk your very forms to do this. We can make a magically binding contract to guarantee we will not use them against you. We just need these to be destroyed once and for all. Something like that.
Or
Sounds
words to
good.
those effect.
Yeah.
Awesome. You hit send on that message. It fires off. And we wait for the result. And with that, we say goodbye. For another session. We're going to go to the deep dreaming. We're going to have a multi-episode run into the dreaming, and things are just going to get weirder and weirder and stranger and stranger
As they should.
every single time until we get to the point where everyone's just abstract paintings. Because the dreaming is like that. I hope everyone had fun and has enjoyed themselves. I can't wait to do more Fae shenanigans, especially now we're going to be doing actual deep dreaming and far dreaming stuff. I'm going to have to remember the rules, because there are rules when you go into different levels of the dreaming. Your cantrips get stronger the deeper you go into the dreaming. To the point where when you go into the deep dreaming, every single cantrip you do counts as being unleashed.
Oh.
That also means all your bad traits are amplified too. Everything, it's like Texas. Everything is bigger. Even the bad stuff is bigger. We will be back next Saturday in the afternoon at 2 p.m. BST / 3 p.m. CEST. Note to self, remember when the clocks change, because they are going to, it's October, they change at some point in October, and I can't remember when they change, but the clocks will change, and it will screw us over like it does every single year. It does mean, though, we get to go back to GMT, which is far more easier for me to remember than BST.
Yeah,
but aside from
it's
that,
the 27th of October, I believe.
Okay.
The clocks change.
Note to
At 2
self.
a.m.
Note to self. Clocks change. Until then, look after yourselves. If you want to, you can join us in literally 1 hour's time, where I get to do this all over again, but with a bunch of vampires. And we get to talk, do we trust the changelings with the mirrors? And if they say no, I'm going to have to give them the glare and be like, you're holding up the plot.
It just means next session we fist fight. That's all.
Yeah. So next Saturday, we'll be here at 6 p.m. BST, and we'll just have a ginormous brawl for them. Look, we can't have you guys brawling the vampires. The only sanctioned fight we can have is the inevitable duel between Zelda and Lita. We've established this. We've established this. Zelda's going to get her revenge, and she's going to challenge Lita to a duel. We've look. This is established canon. Anyway, with that, we're going to go. Look after yourselves, and we'll see you next week. Bye.